Deep breath, everyone, and welcome. Deborah Basham is our host, and I am your instructor today, Kathy Zerler. But you are your own best teacher. And so as we begin, do the right things for yourself. And remember that old joke where the man went into the doctor's office and he said, "Doc, every time I put my arm up like this, it hurts." And the doctor said, "Well, don't do that." Good lesson. Namaste and welcome. Let's lie down on our backs in rest pose and relax. Relax. I want to tell you, I was in bed this morning. We've had the time change. And I woke up and it was, really dark 30 before the clock was actually at a time when I wanted to get up. And I was laying there thinking, should I get up? Because I'm awake. And then I just started trying to soften my body and noticing the tension as I was thinking of springing out of bed or releasing and relaxing. And sometimes we don't even realize that we're in sort of a fight, flight, or freeze mode in the sympathetic nervous system. And we're clenching and we don't even realize it. Or we're ready to spring and we don't realize it. So notice that. Notice how when you intentionally begin to let go, it works. And you are letting go of things that oftentimes we aren't even aware that we're holding. And so let's breathe and systematically soften from the top down, moving a little as you release, just letting your body acknowledge the release, your intention to release, the mind and the body and the spirit, all working together for your better health. And so as we relax in, movement will also help us. So let's move our heads from side to side in a flowing motion, left to right, just gently, going up to your range of motion, but not through it, and acknowledging center when your head comes straight up to the ceiling. And all we have to do to acknowledge center is think center. It's a process and a practice. The next time you come to one side, go up to your range of motion and hold it there. And breathe. And notice the range of motion so that you can maintain it and perhaps even improve it a little bit. Breathe back to center. Turn your head the other way. Same thing on the other side. Go up to, but not through, your range of motion. Breathe into your neck and notice the upper part of your neck, the part of your neck that is facing the corner of the room, as opposed to the part of the neck that you're leaning into. And notice that your neck is working on both sides. Breathe back to center. Turn your head the other way. Find your range of motion and notice what's going on with your whole neck and your breath. Breathe back to center. And let's do one more complete rotation, going the other way, holding it here, letting go, and then summoning up enough energy to move your head again, center, and last time in the other direction. Hold it here. Hold it and breathe. Breathe back to center. Shoulders roll back. Tighten up your low core. This is the part of our body we're going to use the most in this hour we have together. So pull down on the abdominal muscles that run horizontally across your body. These are the transverse abdominal muscles. And your hips and your glutes and even your quadriceps join in. These are the biggest muscles of the body. And so these are the ones that protect us. Now let it all go and notice the letting go. That is as important as the tension. Let's do that again. Squeeze it all together like you're trying to hold everything in. Squeeze it, notice it, breathe into it, and then all at once, let it go. Tension plus release helps our bodies to heal. And breathe and soften. Lift up one arm now so it's off the mat, not very far, and direct your breath into that arm, especially into the shoulder, which is the closest part to the trunk. And in fact, the shoulder, part of the shoulder is part of the trunk. So hang in there, literally, let your arm just sort of hang there lightly as you breathe and notice the weight of your own arm. And then all at once, drop it. Let it all go. Continuing to breathe, lift up the other arm. Same thing on this side. And it's the same on all the bilateral moves we do. We do both sides. Sometimes one of them has more mobility, more flexibility than the other side, and that's very normal. So no worries. And breathe. And breathe into the arm and the shoulder. And then all at once, drop it. Let it all go. Engage your low core now. Squeeze it all together. Lift up both arms. It's a little bit heavier now. So you're aiding the lift, the weightlifting that you're doing with both arms. You are aiding or assisting with your low core and also protecting with the low core. And so all at once now, release it, drop it, let it go, and notice. Soften and breathe. Let your lips form a smile that's only for you as you're looking up at the ceiling and sending that smile reflex throughout your whole body. At the YMCA, we consider smiling as the most advanced yoga pose. Bend one knee now and bring that leg up close, placing both hands behind the knee. Begin to draw the leg in and massage that side of your body with the top of your leg. Doesn't matter which one you started with because we're going to do the other side. And right now you're giving yourself a belly massage and a back massage as you notice the small of your back gently pressing against the cushion of your mat. And then lift that leg up in the air. The knee is soft. Place your hands palms down on the TVA muscles as you point the foot and slowly lower the leg, moving slowly almost to the mat. And when you get almost to the mat, flex your foot and bring it back up just as slowly using the core. The leg is heavier than the arms and longer. Takes a little bit more effort. So we're engaging the core as we point and lower and flex and lift. Breathing as we move and using the core muscles. So this is core work. We talk a lot about that in fitness. The next time your foot comes toward the mat, release everything. Let it all go. Just relax. You are getting better at relaxing. Notice that. Place your hands on the low core again. Engage. Bend the knee. Bring the leg up. Now put both hands behind the knee and begin to massage that side of your body with the top of your leg, squeezing the core whenever it feels like the right thing to do. When you keep your mind on your movement, you will realize what to do, and your body will remember, because we're practicing. We're practicing telling our body to help us be safe, and it wants to heal us. Our bodies want to heal. They want us to be safe. They want us to be strong, flexible, and mobile. They want us to be stable, balanced, grounded. Lift this leg up now. That knee is soft. Hands again on the TVA muscles as you point and very slowly lower, almost to the mat. And as you get near the mat, flex the foot and bring it up. Nice and slow. Slower is better because you're working the core and we're in training. So we're training the muscles. We want them to have time to realize it. There's nothing about this that is momentum driven. That can come later if you're doing a sport or an activity that takes a lot of combined effort. Then your body will kick in automatically. The more we practice, the better we get at anything worth doing. The next time your foot comes close to the mat, release the leg and release everything. Let it all go. Let it go. Notice the energy that you're creating. We've stimulated our blood flow. We're stimulating our respiratory system by deeper, slower breathing. Let's take a couple of long, slow breaths. Keep going on the long, slow breaths. And try breathing nasally, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. If you can do this, there are more benefits, many more benefits to nasal breathing than there are to mouth breathing. Anytime you want to feel those benefits of relaxation, centering down, being still from within, take a longer, slower breath. Bend both knees now. Bring both knees up close, one hand behind each knee, and roll on your back, releasing your spine from everything we've already done. Lift your legs up in the air. Soft knees. Hands next to your body for stability. Arms on the mat, hands on the mat. Look at your feet and point both feet. Feel the energy in the tops of your legs. Feel the tops of your legs, the front of your legs engaging. And then soften and gently flex the foot and notice the backs of your legs. Everything's engaging back there now. Small movements employ different muscle groups and different ligaments and tendons and systems and organs. So we're working everything. Soften that. Press the sides of your big toes together and now notice the inner thighs, the inner part of your leg. Squeeze the inner thighs. Help this engagement, even though it started with the toes. Soften up. Press the sides of your heels together. Squeeze your hips and your glutes. Draw down on the belly. Notice. Soften. Bend your elbows and open up your legs in a big V, allowing the outsides of your legs to rest on your hands. And find your edge at the center of your being and begin to rotate the ankles. Nice and slow. First in one direction, and then stop and rotate in the opposite direction. Flexibility, motion. Motion is lotion. Motion is lotion to the joints and to everything else. Stop now and point your feet and turn the legs out and notice a little bit more of a difference. Breathe and hold. Soften up. Flex your feet now, and then turn them in and notice the outsides of your legs, the IT band, everything else out there. And then soften again. Bring your legs together. Bring the knees in, one hand behind each knee. Again, roll on your back. Feeling good, massaging your own back. Oh my goodness. We have everything we need to take great care of ourselves. Knees in close, lean to one side. Use your elbow and the other hand to press up to a seated position safely. So come up slowly. Let that blood flow back toward your heart. And let's sit down, scoot to the back of your mat, and open up your legs in a big V and lengthen your spine. So we're working the center of our body again, just a little bit more. This time lengthening the spinal center, the spinal column. So imagine making space between each vertebrae. And you do that just by sitting tall. Bring back your chin. Let's roll our shoulders now. Everything is soft when we move it. If we're in a holding pose, then we go to our edge and hold it there and soften there. So let's do that. We're in a holding pose now. Soften into this. Breathe into it. Remember your posture. We've just rolled our shoulders back to engage the scapula, to give us a contraindication to the C curve, the leaning forward that we do so much in every part of our day. Let's point the feet again and pronate. Turn the feet out. Notice the inner parts of your legs. Notice your hips are engaged, your glutes. Soften here. Flex your feet now and turn them in, supinate. Notice the outsides of your legs. So we're working every part of the leg and the feet because the toes are engaged when you flex and when you point, and so is the ankle. And I imagine that all those little tiny metatarsal bones are doing something. So it's all good. As it is. And that's what we're learning in this time of our lives, to accept things as they are and make adjustments to those uncertainties or changes that we're all feeling right now. Release and bring the legs together. Let's stand up. So how do we stand up safely? We come first to the table, and then we press up to a crouch, and we roll up slowly, tucking the chin. So right now, our heads are hanging, giving our neck a rest. Chin tuck, roll it up. Notice the blood flowing toward your heart as you roll back your shoulders. Breathing, sweep the arms up, extended mountain, lift up. Lift up your toes. And then plant your feet again. Gently look up and arch your back. And you can lean back here if you feel stable. Bring up your head. Release the arms. Shoulders roll back. You are in the mountain pose now, which is good posture. So take a moment, if you could close your eyes. And if you can't, still take a moment, but just let your body memorize good posture. In this way, when we are not in good posture, we'll realize it and we'll return to good posture many times every day. You can't always be in good posture. I've been watching my brother and his buddy fixing my deck this past month, and they're leaning over their tools and they're leaning over the boards and they're nailing and they're doing all kinds of work that involves this position, or they're on their hands and knees, and they wear knee pads. So they're protecting their body as they work, and they take a rest when they need it. So let's do a forward bend. Elbows in, hands are soft. Bend the knees and sit way back. So it's important the knees are above the feet as we slide our hands down to the mat and hang out in forward bend. If you can lengthen the legs without letting your hands come up off the mat completely, then do that. It's important though that you have 4 points on the mat for stability, so both hands and both feet. Shake your head yes. And then tucking the chin, pull in the belly, and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, as if you are stacking the vertebrae, aligning them. As your head comes up, notice blood flowing toward your heart and roll back your shoulders. And breathe, sweep it up. Lift up the toes, widen the fingers, plant the feet. Look up and gently arch your back. Lean back. Bring up your head and release. Sway now from side to side, releasing a little bit more, relaxing. Notice the blood flowing down your arms, the energy you're creating. Life blood, breath of life. Come to center, forward bend, elbows in. Bend the knees and sit way back. Fold in half and touch the mat. Knees are bent, and if you can lengthen them without bringing your hands off the mat, then do that. Otherwise, keep the knees a little bent. If you are able to straighten your legs, notice the low back, the sacrum opening up. And it's always an option to use a prop for this, like a block or a book if you're at your house, or a cushion. It's not a good idea to just let your hands hang. You don't have the stability. And, I've actually done this, so you don't have to do this. I do have the flexibility, but sometimes I hang here and I get in such the zone. One time I actually fell over in this position. I just fell over. I didn't hurt myself because I was already halfway down, but still, you don't want to do that. Tuck your chin, roll it up. Thinking about alignment as your head comes up and your blood flows to your heart. Roll back the shoulders. Check in at the mountain and sweep up to the extended mountain. Lift it up. Lift up your toes. Plant your feet. Find your stability as you look up and arch your back and perhaps lean back a little. Bring up your head and release. Shoulders roll back. Come to the mountain, check in. Elbows in. Sit way back. Bend the knees, fold in half, hang out. Shake your head yes, stimulating the crystals in the back of your skull, which can cause dizziness, and it's scary, but it's usually benign. But just so keep the motion moving. Tuck the chin now and roll up. Keep those crystals clear. And then come up, blood flowing, shoulders rolling. coming to the mountain, sweeping up to the extended mountain, lifting up. Lift up the toes. Bring back the chin. Plant the feet now. Look up and arch. You're getting really good at this. Bring up your head and release. Sway gently from side to side. Feeling good. We haven't done a lot of balance work in these videos because it requires probably 5 or 10 minutes of just time to stand on one foot. But I'd like to do one thing today, and that is step off your mats and put your feet together. This is a mountain pose too, not as stable as legs a little bit apart with the legs straight down from the hips because the platform is smaller. So this is a balance challenge. Hold on to something if you don't feel steady about this. Look at your feet and cross the right foot over the left, and then feel how much smaller your platform is. And if you're feeling stable, sweep your arms up overhead. Look at a balance point on the floor and hold it here. Release the arms. Uncross. Take a moment at center. Let's do the other side now. Again, touch something. One finger touching a wall is enough to give you stability from within. So don't be afraid to do that, because what we're doing here is training. We're training our bodies to be still and strong and centered. So let's cross the left foot over the right and find your center. And if you're feeling stable, sweep both arms up and lift it up. And notice. Release the arms. Uncross. So if you do that a couple times, or if you stand near a wall, touch with one finger and lift up one foot and hold it. Notice the centering, the stillness. If you're starting to wobble, you're training your body to wobble. So if you're quivering from within, you're quivering. You're training quivering. We are training stillness. So if you're doing this, put that elevated foot down, find your center, and switch sides. So in balance, like everything else, we do both sides. We watch what we're doing. We go up to our limit, and then we stop. And we release and come to center. So a good time to do this would be when you're brushing your teeth. You have your hand on the bathroom counter. You can brush your teeth with the other hand and lift up one foot. You are balancing. Then you do the other side. Keep brushing your teeth. Keep holding onto the counter. Get those teeth nice and sparkly clean and balance as you're doing it. So when people say, I don't have time to exercise, that particular suggestion there, you're already brushing your teeth, so why not add to it? All right, let's step out a little, soften the knees, put your hands on your waist, and twist in one direction, looking over the posterior shoulder. Hold it here. We do need to practice balance many times every day. It's important, especially as we age. Breathe back to center. Turn the other direction. Look over that shoulder. Go up to your edge. Hold it here. Breathe back to center. Twist the other direction. Find your range of motion. Soften into it. Breathe back to center. Other way. Up to your edge. Hold it there. Always breathe. Whatever breath feels right. Come back to center. And release and step together. And release a little bit more, swaying. These twists, these rotations, help open up space around the organs and the systems. So let's step out a little bit more for tripod. We're going to continue the flexion. Continue the alignment as we plant one foot on each side of the width of our mat. Bend your knees, both hands in front of you on the mat is the third leg of the tripod, and then let your head hang and hang out here. Shake your head yes. And now walk both hands over to the right foot. Left hand on the mat. Right arm up in the air, look up. Look down. Right arm down. Keep the knees a little soft. Check in at center. Hands to the left foot. Right hand on the mat. Left arm up in the air, look up. Look down. Left arm down. Come to center. Hands to the right. Left hand on the mat. Right arm up in the air, look up. Look down. Right arm down. Center. To the left. Right hand on the mat. Left arm up in the air, look up. Look down. Left arm down. Come back to center and roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Nice and slow. Stacking the spine, tucking the chin, shoulders roll back, blood flows to your heart. Sweep up your arms, encouraging more flexibility, more movement from within, and then release. And step together and soften your body. Coming back to the mountain and turning to one side, we're going into humble warrior. So humble warrior is from the mountain, legs straight down from the hips, fold in half. So you're in about a 90-degree angle. And bring your hands behind you. And then fold your hands and lift the arms up a little bit away. So this is the first stage, the first progression of humble warrior. And you can stay here. Or you can fold in half, let your head come toward the floor and the arms come up toward the ceiling. And this is the other part, if you choose to do this, of humble warrior. So always pick the parts that work for you. If this is too much for your shoulders or whatever, then just do the other part or do nothing, do something similar. Come all the way back up. Come back all the way back up to the mountain and release your hands and roll your shoulders. Come back to stability, the stability that is your mountain. We are grounded, balanced, centered, peaceful. Let's fold in half again, 90-degree angle. Arms behind us. Fold your hands, lift your arms a little bit away, just gently, noticing where they want to go. And stopping before you go too far, too fast. And then if you'd like to fold in half even more, you can do that part also. Notice the blood, notice the breath, notice every bone and muscle. Breathe it up. Nice and slow, coming up all the way to the mountain pose. Release the arms, sway gently from side to side. So notice what we're doing. Tension, release, all parts of the body working together in a good way. Come back to center. Let's do humble warrior one more time. Flat back, arms behind you. Do whatever part of this you'd like. Go all the way forward or stay at 90 degrees. Stay focused. Come back up. Slower is better. Watch the breath. Watch the blood flow. Release the arms. Sweep up. Lift up. Lift up the toes. Now plant your feet. Look up, arch your back, and lean back if you're feeling stable. Always do the right things for yourself. It will pay off in the end. Bring up your head and release, and you won't hurt yourself. Sway from side to side, and that's pretty important. We want to stay safe. That's the #1 rule at our YMCA. Be safe. Safety first. All right. Let us now, let's see. Let's step out to the 5-point star. So bring your arms out. You're in the 5-point star. Soften in, soften the knees, and energize it. Extend the arms, squeeze the core, the low core, everything below the neck. Squeeze it all. Notice, smile, stay right here. Soften and release. Roll back your shoulders. We're going to do the warrior sequence now. So come back to the 5-point star, soften it, turn one foot away so the foot is pointing forward, and swivel your hips forward and sink the back heel so that that foot is horizontal as opposed to pointed. And then bring the forward arm up and the other arm behind the posterior leg, softening that shoulder as you look up. So this is balance in motion. Legs are straight, posterior shoulder is soft, neck, shoulders, everything's engaged. Bring up your head, bring your arms back to parallel, sink the forward knee. Bring the forward arm, side angle pose, onto that thigh, and the other arm up overhead. As you relax what you can relax, and hold this pose. And breathe. Come back up. Keep the forward knee bent. Be sure you can see the front of your foot. And sink in. It's like a hip sink. Bring both arms together in the front. Strong fists. And shoot the bow. Bring it back. Squeeze the hips. Release about your mouth. Come back to center. Proud warrior. Again, both arms together in the front. Strong fists. And pull. Bring it back. Slow. And let it go. Hold it here. Again, both arms together in the front. Tension. Pull. It's a heavy bow. And then release. Find your center. Both arms together in the front, palms facing each other. Lift your arms up overhead. Look up and arch your back a little. Exalted warrior. Bring up your head. Lower the arms and come to center. Release at center, step together. Sway from side to side. And notice. And roll. And smile and shake it out. And let's do the other side of the warrior sequence. So back to the 5-point star. Energize it. Soften it. Turn the other foot so it's pointed away. Sink the back heel. Legs are straight as you bring the forward arm up and the posterior arm down the back of that leg, softening that shoulder as you look up and hold and breathe and notice. Bring up your head, arms back to parallel. Sink the forward knee, side angle pose. Find your place. It's always important to keep your foot in front of the knee. None of this involves lunges or squats, which can affect the knee joint adversely. So hold it here. And now keeping the forward knee bent, come back up, sink the hips a little bit more, stabilize yourself at proud warrior, and bring both arms together in the front, strong fists, and shoot the bow, bring it back. Slow, and let it go. Hold it here. Again, both arms together in the front, strong fists, and pull, bring it back. Slow, and let it go. Hold it here. Again, both arms together in the front, fists, shoot the bow, control it. Notice your belly, it should be really engaged now. And then release. Hold it here. Both arms together in the front, palms facing each other. Exalted warrior, lift up. Look up and arch. Bring up your head, lower the arms. Come back to center. And release. Step together and sway gently from side to side. Coming from the mountain, coming from posture, still swaying, always finding alignment in every pose. So check your mountain, feet are forward, sweep up your arms, lift up, soften, and then lean into crescent moon. Let that hand that you're leaning toward go down the side of that leg, and the other arm come up overhead or wherever your shoulder wants to be. And do this in every pose. Find the place that's comfortable, that sweet spot. Come back up. Lift up. Soften. Lean the other way. Soften that shoulder that you're leaning into. The other arm is up in a crescent moon shape or a C. Come all the way back up. Lift up at center. Soften. Crescent moon in the other direction. Or a C shape. So if we were singing the YMCA song, this would be the C. Come back up. Come up to center. If we opened up our arms, this would be the Y. Bring your arms back. Lean the other direction into the C. This will be the last time. Come back up, nice and slow. Lift up at center. Soften, release, and sway from side to side. So since I started this YMCA song, let's do the Y. Let's do the M, sort of. Let's do the C. And let's do the A. And let's sit down, everybody. Come down to your mat, get on the sits bones, and rock up into your boat. So, get stabilized here. The boat is a V hull. So it's a V shape. But your arms are really not doing the work unless this is too hard. And then you can hold up your arms by just grabbing the backs of your legs. And then look at your feet. You can point the feet, you can flex the feet, or you can just let them be. This is core strength. So if you're really, really strong in the core and you want to do a little bit more, you can do it. Hold it here, the boat. And if you'd like to, you can row your boat. Come out whenever you want to. Come back in when you're ready in every pose. Right now, we're rowing the boat. And then plant the feet, release, and lie down on your backs. Bring up the knees, roll back your shoulders, bring up the knees so that you can release your spine, one hand behind each knee. Let go, releasing your spine from the warrior series, from the crescent moon series, from the boat. Lots going on in every pose. We have already covered every part of the body, and I hope your spirits are engaged and focused, and your mind as well. And if they're not, that's perfectly normal. Just make a conscious effort to be mindful. Now plant your feet for the bridge. We'll do a little mindfulness in the bridge. Roll back your shoulders so that the weight of the bridge is squarely on the shoulders and the feet, never the neck. So take care of your neck. Take care of any parts that are needing some TLC right now. So if you're on your shoulders and you know the weight is there, lift up your pelvis just a little to make sure, and then you can keep going up into your bridge, rocking up onto the shoulders so that there's a straight line between the knees and the shoulders, and then start to settle in without sagging. So if you start to sag here, then arch your back and squeeze your hips and release that again, and find that sweet spot just below your edge. And there's a place in every pose that is that place. It's where you could stay in the pose for a longer time than if you were driving the pose with tension. It's good to know how to release. We can't stay in tension, on edge, in the sympathetic nervous system all the time, ready to fight or flee or freeze. We can't live that way. We must learn to let go. These are all techniques that will assist you in doing that. Let's roll down now, vertebrae by vertebrae. And when your back touches the mat, just gently rock your pelvis. Just nice and slow release. And breathe. And notice. And then come to center. Check the shoulders. Tilt the pelvis and roll up into one more bridge. When you find this bridge, arch your back, squeeze the hips, settle in right under it. We're going to travel out of the bridge right now without moving the pose. So find your comfortable bridge, soften in, and then mentally climb right out of your body and stand on your bridge. Look around you at this beautiful day. Look around the bridge from your vantage point. What's in front of you? What's behind you? What's above you? What's below you? How are you? More to the point, how is your soul today? Are you feeling good? I hope so. Make a conscious effort in every day to come back to balance. We all have stressors. It's not living without stressors, but it's not living if we're stressed constantly either. There's a balance in there. And you can do this. You can find it. So climb back into your body and roll down safely on your mat. And bring both knees up, one hand behind each knee. Roll on your back, releasing. Maybe a little bit more vigorously because we've done a lot on our spine today. So roll and release. And bring the knees in. Arms out into airplane. Slowly and gently lower both legs to the right, all the way to the mat, so your hips and your back come up off the mat. One hip comes off. You're leaning into the other hip. But your back, your glutes do come off the mat. Turn your head to the left. Extend the left arm. Roll that palm so the left palm faces up. You're looking left. Right palm is on the mat. That palm is down. You are in this pose, which is a full body rotation. And there's some inherent tension to it. Make a conscious effort here to release all around that tension. Breathe into the flexion of your spine. Soften and let go. Breathe and release. We're going to stay here for maybe a minute, which might seem like a long time. And if it is, then you can come out by bringing your knees up. But if you can hang in there just a little longer, allow this pose to work. It's a two-part pose. You are in part one right now. This is, for lack of a better word, this is the tension part. This is the part where your spine is flexing, lengthening, softening. And now very slowly, one leg at a time, bring up your legs slowly. And when you find your center on the mat, and make a conscious effort to do that, bring in the arms, one hand behind each knee, and roll on your back. This is part 2. This is the release. So do as much rolling, one hand behind each knee as you're able to, and maybe a little bit more vigorously, but never out of control. You are in charge of this experience. And I'm guessing that none of you are 6 years old, in which case you'd be rolling like crazy all around. Well, we're not doing that. So bring the knees in close, and then grab your feet into happy baby and roll a little more. So the two combined, knees in close and then the legs up in the air, these two things get more of our spine as we roll around and allow it. We allow our spine now to click into place if it needs it. If anything is a little bit out of place, you might not even know it. This is the pose that can bring it back. Bring the knees in close now. Arms out into airplane. This time, legs to the left, all the way to the mat. Head to the right. Extend the right arm as you roll that palm up and the left palm is down. Settle in and let go. Soften and release. Release and relax. Smile and breathe. You are doing the right things for your body, your sweet spirit, and your agile mind. We're keeping them all flexible and supple and working together. And that's as it should be, as it is. Very slowly now, one leg at a time, bring the legs up. Bring the arms in, one hand behind each knee, roll around, find your center. Stimulate blood flow around your spine. Draw circles with your knees, encompassing the tailbone as you rock the pelvis forward and back, getting as much of the spine as you're able to. Bring the knees in close, legs up for happy baby. Grab your feet, roll around a little bit more. And then knees in close. Stretch out your legs. Bring both arms up behind you on the mat. Point the feet, widen the fingers. Feel the length and the alignment and the strength of this pose. And then bring the arms back and settle in to your rest pose. I'm going to do a self-hypnosis as we close. This is something you could do for yourself. As you climb in bed at night and you're lying on your back and you are seeking sleep and rest, you can roll back your shoulders and release them. Move your jaw and release the jaw. Smile. It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. Notice your arms. Soften the fingers. Check your shoulders again if you need to. Go down to your low core. How does that area feel? Hopefully it's happily relaxed, as are your quadriceps and your knees and your shins and calves. Wiggle your toes. Relax everything. And take a long, slow breath. Bring your hands together now in prayer pose and allow your hands to soften in the center of your chest, the sides of your thumbs gently reclining there on the xiphoid process, and your arms resting on your ribs. Smile. And as we close our practice, I wish you peace. I wish you happiness and joy. And most of all, I wish you love. And all of these things and more are encompassed in the word namaste, which literally means, I see my divine spirit and I see yours too. And you see yours and mine as well. We recognize the goodness in each person. We recognize the capacity to love in ourselves and in others. We recognize the joy, the humbleness, the patience, the kindness, the goodness in ourselves and everyone else. And so as we close, let's say together, Namaste. And on behalf of Deborah Basham and myself, Kathy Zerler, have a wonderful day.